We were told that zip-a-dee-doo-dah is now so offensive at the Disney parks that musicians cannot play it inside Disney World or Disneyland, even if guests request it. So, what are we to do when we hear such a rumor? Well, we sent somebody to go find out, an investigator, one of many we will be sending. And today in this video, we'll share with you what might not be considered offensive by Disney anymore, even if guests are beginning to complain. Hello, folks. How are you? TGIF. It is a beautiful Friday out there. No matter if the clouds are covering the sky, the sunshine is moving on, and it will be back real soon. And we're happy to have Ron Bradley back so soon to the channel. Ron, how are you today?
Fantastic.
Ron, you've been hanging out at the parks, and we sent you on a little adventure recently. And I'm excited to talk about this adventure. Folks, as we get ready to start, we need you to get ready to click that like button. And also, if you'd like to support us even more, consider clicking the link for Vacation Radio down in the video description below. All right, Ron, we were given information on X that apparently Disney parks are no longer playing Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, the Oscar-winning song from the 1940s. The very first time, by the way, that a black male actor ever received an Oscar was for James Baskett singing Zip-a-dee-doo-dah. But we were given information that Disney was no longer playing that, even to the point of their musicians, their live musicians, being told, do not play it. Then we received another report that someone had requested Zip-a-dee-doo-dah to be played by a pianist in Disneyland, and that they were met with hostility. Now, I can't confirm that that happened, and we reached out to see if that individual would like to come on and do a video. They said no. They were not interested in being that public with it, so we're not going to link to them or anything, folks. We're very conscientious of making sure we don't put people in spotlights when that's not appropriate, especially private people's. So, Ron, we decided to send you on a mission, and the mission we sent you on was
Why not?
go to Magic Kingdom and find out what happens if you request Zip-a-dee-doo-dah to be played by a musician at Disney World. Now, before you give your answer as to what happened, I just want to show people how quickly things have moved. This is from EW.com, Entertainment Weekly, and it's by Joey Nolfi. It says, Disneyland removes Song of the South tune Zip-a-dee-doo-dah from Magic Happens Parade. Now, we don't have to read all of this. We just need to see that the date was just basically a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago is when they removed Zip-a-dee-doo-dah completely from the domestic parks. Zip-a-dee-doo-dah still plays in Tokyo where they can play it, but we've also heard that Disney has tried to force the Oriental Land Company to pull it from the soundtrack over in Tokyo. Not in Splash Mountain, but in the rest of their background music. All right, Ron, so in 2023, Disney was still playing this song. It was still at the top of the rotation. People loved it. No one ever came out and complained. Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, so popular that people like Ray Charles famously recorded it and considered it a great honor to do so. So, Ron, what happens now, 1 year and a few months later, if you go and request that Zip-a-dee-doo-dah be played in the parks?
So I was in Magic Kingdom 2 days ago, and
was it hot, Ron?
Oh God! It's miserably hot right now. It's miserably hot.
Was it sparsely crowded or was it very crowded?
It wasn't that crowded. I mean,
okay.
A lot of things like People Mover and stuff like that were just literal walk-ons. So I wouldn't say it was tremendously crowded. I had no. I didn't use it, but I actually had gotten a virtual queue for Tiana's. I just didn't go on it. I was like, well, we'll see, but whatever. And but I was out there and did the whole sword in the stone pulling thing and had some
did you become a king?
parade.
Did you pull it out?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Failed miserably every single time.
but you strolled on over to the to Main Street to where the pianist is playing. All right, tell us about it.
Yeah, so he came out and I was there. Greeted him very nicely, and of course, as a former cast member myself, I'm always very nice with my interactions with cast members. And I asked him if he takes requests. He says sure, and I said, "Is it possible for you to play Zip-a-dee-doo-dah?" And he goes, "This was his exact answer," and I'm quoting, If I knew it, I would play it, but I don't. That's what Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, the song that was used in every single commercial for Disney for many, many years. He claimed that's no. Now, I want to be fair to this individual. I also, just because I wanted to make sure that I was not looking like I was trying to do something, intimidating to him, I requested a couple of other songs, some of which he played were from Beauty and the Beast. I also requested the song Me, which is only in the Broadway version of Beauty and the Beast, and he wanted to play it, but he didn't know that one. But when he said he didn't know Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, what was funny is that he hesitated for just a moment, as if he was trying to think of how to answer that in a nice, respectful way, and wordsmith it, if you will, so it came out in a way that I, as a guest, would be okay with. Again, I didn't push it anymore. I wasn't like, oh sure, you don't know Zip-a-dee-doo-dah. I didn't, because I'm a very respectful guest when it comes to cast members. But it was interesting that he had that little bit of hesitancy when he answered that I noticed, and it seemed I can't do anything other than speculate that maybe he has been instructed to not play Zip-a-dee-doo-dah.
Well, that's what we've been hearing. We don't know it for sure, but definitely that, now that you've gone and tried this out, and we're going to have others go try this, by the way. You've been warned, Disney. But I have a recommendation, Ron, and so I want to show you this, and you tell me what your thought is on it. I don't normally do this, folks, but this is an item in the Pro Store. Link is down in the description. It says, play the zip. And you see that beautiful little bluebird. Now, I don't know what this could possibly be referring to. I don't understand memes at all. But here's a completely unrelated topic for you, Ron. Completely unrelated. I think people, if they frequently requested the live musicians at Disney, who take requests, by the way, if they requested that they play this Oscar award-winning legacy title in the Disney list of musical pieces world-renowned, I think if people requested Zip-a-dee-doo-dah be played in mass, I think that would be a very interesting thing for Disney. Don't you think that would be interesting?
It would be very interesting. I tell you what, one of my favorite commercials, I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, it's pretty familiar. I think it came out in 2015, and they were talking about the Disney difference, and they played a number of different songs, and it was a showman out front and dancers in the back going over all of the wonderful magical things that Disney had, Magical Express and Free Fast Pass, and all of those wonderful upgrades that were all included. Yes. And what song did that end with? Zip-a-dee-doo-dah. It was like the anthem of Disney World for a very, very long time, as long as I can remember, to be honest.
Well, it's also the anthem against everything that Disney Parks has been doing. And it reminds us of how this company and these parks were a sane and wonderful place to go with your family up until recently. And they've decided to change all that. But I really mean this. I hope that my viewers will go and request Zip-a-dee-doo-dah when you go to Disneyland, when you go to Disney World, whether it is at Main Street, whether it's at the Grand Floridian, or any of the other places where they play music and they take requests. I would love for cast members to say, you know what? Darn that pro, we're getting to play Zip-a-dee-doo-dah again. Disney has relented. We're playing Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, because I think they are terrified of that. Ron, there's one other thing I wanted to have you on today to talk about, and that is that whereas Zip-a-dee-doo-dah is clearly not an offensive song, but they pretend that it is, it's actually a historical song, and especially in Black history, it's a tremendously historical song. But Ron, something that might be perceived as offensive is that it seems that the character of Deadpool at Disneyland, specifically at California Adventure, the script and the jokes that are being made over there are drawing some controversy. And that is because Deadpool, which is a distinctly R-rated character, although he's not using profanity at Disneyland, he's saying things that would get most other cast members fired in an instant. So what do you think about this controversy that's begun to kind of percolate out into the minds of ex-users and the Disney fans? What do you think? Which way should this go? Where are the limits for Deadpool?
Well, and here's the thing. Like I was, having been a cast member in the past, having gone through traditions several times. I've had several different roles, within the company where I've left and come back, and I went through two of the main traditions, which are the 8-hour courses. I don't believe they have those anymore. I was told yesterday by a cast member that they are no longer holding the traditional traditions orientation anymore. I also went through a third-party traditions, which was a shorter version, like a 3-hour version where they introduce you to the company. But they go over company policy. And one of the company policies is their, hopefully I can say this, sexual harassment policy. Okay, that's the word for the policy. It's a very big blanket at Disney. And I know this for a fact. The innuendo that Deadpool is using in the jokes that I've seen posted on X in video, this is people recording those videos. These jokes could very easily get a cast member terminated from the company if they were heard even by another cast member just passing by. Like if let's say that two cast members are having a private conversation and exchanging jokes like this, and then a third cast member walked by, didn't even know what was going on, but heard the joke and was offended by it, could report it and get one or both of those cast members fired. By the way, there's also a no retaliation policy where those cast members don't really even have the opportunity to fully tell their side of the story in context. So it's
that no retaliation thing. Also, it's I understand why companies do it. The problem is that if an employee of what should we say here? If an employee of less moral character than would be desired wants to make a fictitious claim and a vindictive claim against someone, they also receive the reward of not being able to be retaliated against, even if it turns out to be fairly untrue. And so that can be a proactive defense mechanism if there's someone, say your boss, who you suspect is going to discipline you down the road because you're not doing your job. You can make a claim, and then that boss's hands are tied. They might be fired, but at the very least, they're not going to give you any more trouble because you have a no retaliation clause. So, yeah. But to come back to Deadpool, listen, Deadpool is an R-rated character. You bring an R-rated character into a theme park to talk to families of all different varieties, and it's a difficult thing to do. I remember that in the 80s and 90s, we had a lot of shows like Beetlejuice, RoboCop, where we brought these R-rated characters and we made them into kids stuff, and it can work. But the approach Disney seems to be taking with Deadpool is, how do we make jokes that will go over the heads of kids, but are definitely adult jokes nevertheless? And that seems to be what they're doing. Is that fair?
I would say that's fair, but also what I found interesting is that every single one of those jokes skewed to a trait of Deadpool's personality that he doesn't actually have in the movie. So I thought that was strange a little bit too.
Okay. So here's a thought on that, Ron. So Marvel is trying to moderate and come back to the sensible center, right? Disney parks and everybody who works there, that's not the case. So they're taking Deadpool and running Deadpool through their own prism, through their own filter, and the Deadpool that comes out of that is a highly woke Deadpool. And whereas the Deadpool in the movie is sort of anti-woke, this is an ultra-woke version that is making jokes about platforms we can't discuss on this platform. That's how bad it is, but he's free to talk about it. But, Ron, don't forget, we can't play zip-a-dee-doo-dah. It's too offensive. We can make grinding jokes. Look how I did that. Deadpool can make grinding jokes in the parks, but zip-a-dee-doo-dah with that little blue bird, not satisfactual. And you're not allowed to do it. What a weird, mixed up world we have at the parks right now. Ron, I'll give you the last word on this topic.
It is very, very strange. It's just so different. Like, I don't know, a decade ago, even I would walk into Disney. I would have never, ever thought that this would be the direction Disney parks would have ever gone, for one thing. And for another thing, I just remember walking into any one of the 4 parks, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, with just a sense of magical. I mean, you might have called me a pixie duster back then because I hardly saw anything wrong. And it is so weird to me to see such a quick turnaround in such an opposite direction. And I'll be honest with you, the cast members
just years.
About that I mentioned,
just years, Ron.
Yeah, just a few short years. This cast member I was talking about, he and I worked together, okay, in the past, so he was there even before I came in 2014, and we're still good friends on Facebook. He was commenting how they lost so many people in with the 2020 situation, and they're still desperate for new cast members coming in, but their situation is that there are a number of check boxes first before they get to whether or not the cast member can do the job, can merit actually doing the work. And that has changed the quality.
And you got to keep your ratios, Ron. Don't forget the ratios.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just not the same as it used to be, and it's going to be more telling, I think, next year, especially in Orlando, as some real competition surfaces with Epic Universe. It's just going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. We want you to go to the parks. We've never asked you to do anything proactively, but we think this is fun and funny. It's cute. There's no harm at all. Go to the live musicians and say, play the zip. Give us the zip-a-dee-doo-dah. Let's go and see what the response is. And who knows? It might even be fun if you've got that recorded for X, Twitter, Facebook, or any other Instagramming, TikToking you might want to do. Folks, if you find out that someone does play zip-a-dee-doo-dah for you inside the parks or inside the resorts, please record it and send it to us. We'll even blur out the cast member's face, but we would love to have confirmation that someone somewhere will still play James Baskett's famous happy music, the serenade of so many for so long. All right, folks, before we say so long, we want you to go subscribe to Follow the Bradley's Fun. That is Ron Bradley's YouTube channel, and it is a fantastic one. Ron, what do you got coming up next on your channel?
So we have the Daily Dish Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Tonight, I will be live from somewhere. It's a surprise. Starting at 7 o'clock, but I will be out and about in the parks. And this will be the first of Friday nights. We're going to do that. Try and do it live every Friday night.
Great, Ron. At 7 p.m., there's going to be a crowd now at Casey's Corner thinking you're going to be there. We're going to get that piano player this time.
No. I won't.
You know what we need?
Here's the hint. I won't be in the Magic Kingdom tonight. That will not be.
We need crowds of people to just start singing zip-a-dee-doo-dah in the parks. And just
people still singing in the parks. I still hear guests singing it.
Yes.
I still see people with Splash Mountain shirts on. So there's awareness out there for sure.
Good deal. Well, there needs to be.
So
Disney screwed up the most popular attraction in the world. That's right. Wear those Play the Zip shirts, folks. We would love it. All right, it's time now to do something more that we would love, and that is click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we say sayonara one more time, don't worry, because one more video is on the way later tonight. And we've got 3 videos a day all through the weekend because the news never stops. And so neither do we. All right, we'll see you real soon, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube, one of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga.
He's Jose.
That one seems a little bit foreign to you.